let's have a look. Trump Derangement Syndrome. It's regarded as, can I get that any bigger? I'll tell you how I'll do this. Bear with me. Right. Just do a little tweak here. A little tweak there. Open it back up. Right. Okay. So, Trump Derangement Syndrome. Trump Derangement Syndrome, also known as TDS, is a pejorative term, usually for criticism or negative reactions to former United States President Donald Trump that are perceived to be irrational and to have little regards towards Trump's actual policy positions or actions undertaken by his administration. Now, that's very interesting because prior to President Trump coming on the scene, that terminology didn't even exist. Let me see if I can read it out again. This time the lazy man's way.
Trump Derangement Syndrome, TDS, is a pejorative term, usually for criticism or negative reactions to former United States President Donald Trump that are perceived to be irrational and to have little regard towards Trump's actual policy positions or actions undertaken by his administration.
Yes. Now, we all know what that means in future when the reference to it comes up again.
Current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fined?
Oh, my goodness. Now, this young lady in the pink and the blonde hair, she has a lot to answer for. She's full-time on the derangement campaign.
Couple of days. Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
Yes, you really did hear that right. A cold, of course, is absolutely the same as getting shot. And that was the moment Joy Reid sunk so low into the realms of insanity. Now to our friends over at The View, specifically Whoopi Goldberg, or Poopy Goldberg, as she's now known.
I have poopy days all the time.
Okay. Well, she is back in the habit of Trump alarmism.
It's up to each and every person in this audience to make sure you get out there and vote. And no, you can't lay by the wayside and say, I'm going to let somebody else do it.
You know what? I was always a big fan of hers, And since Donald Trump came around and I've watched The View, I used to watch it a lot. It just became so one-sided. I mean, okay, Fox is far to that side. View is so far to the other side. If they're not careful, they're going to come full circle past the people on the right and then not back on the left again. So, yeah, somebody commented that they act based on emotion, not facts. So that's an explanation, and it's part of the human condition.
Because this requires you recognizing that we're all in danger here.
Danger!
We're in
Oh,
danger.
she's so stressed.
Holy moly.
Trump has really broken.
Gonna try and
Whoopi,
see if we can bring this one up. Okay, for some reason, his channel is not available. This is surprising to me though. Umar Johnson, my goodness, he's the last person I would expect to be endorsing Trump.
Whenever you talk about what the black activists in Chicago are going through, whenever you talk about what black people here in New York are complaining about, they'll say, that's MAGA messaging. How is it MAGA messaging?
It's not MAGA messaging. Listen, the bottom line is when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship. Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he's not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him in November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The two blackest cities in America. They're the two largest cities in America. They're the two most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls, replace us at the low-end industry jobs, right? See, when Donald Trump said during the debate that Joe Biden is taking black jobs and giving them to migrants, he was correct. Although he didn't say it because he cared about us, but he's right. When people say, what do you mean by black jobs? Get out your bougie feelings and deal with the reality. 1/3 of black men have a felony. So there's a lot of jobs they will never qualify for. They are mostly what? Essential workers, warehouse, trucking, security. And a lot of those jobs are going to who? The migrants. So that's what he meant by black jobs. We got to stop being so sensitive and look at the reality of it. I was reading a report the other day. They said the Latinos taking over the construction jobs. They taking them over. And the low industry work, like your gardening, your landscaping, completely taking it over. They're not the enemy. The problem is black people don't get as much opportunity. So then people say, well, you know, white people don't really like brown people like that. That's true. But you know what the difference is? They don't have the burden of accountability with them that they have with us. We built the country. So every time they look at us to deal with us, the bottom line is y'all brought them here and they built y'all into what y'all are. They don't have to say that to the Venezuelans. They don't have to say that to the Colombians. They don't have to say that to the Mexicans. So although they don't like brown, they would much rather deal with them than the black, because with the black, there is a white man's burden that you owe them.
Wow, Mr. Omar is going off.